How's it going, guys and girls? Hope you guys are having a great week. So, as you all know, the Anthem VIP demo hit on Friday and it was available to play over the weekend for pretty much anyone that pre-ordered the game. Now, I actually got given a free code for me to go in and play it. You all know from my previous video that I uploaded that the Anthem VIP demo has had a lot of issues, a lot of problems, a lot of bugs, and even when it went live on Friday, the servers pretty much went down, which meant that you couldn't even get into the game. You couldn't even get into Fort Tarsus. You couldn't access anything, and it was pretty much down for most of Friday. I did finally manage to get back into the game on Saturday, and I have played a couple of hours, although that time has been very mixed in terms of how that experience has been, but what I wanted to do was just sort of give my first impressions on the VIP demo, on Anthem itself, and what I thought of it, and also obviously what problems and issues we came across this morning and what that means for the future, because I'm sure a lot of you are interested to hear what my opinion is. So in the background here there is some gameplay footage. This footage here is a Stronghold, so I managed to actually get in on this with Dante and also two of my friends and subscribers. We managed to get in as a four-player team and actually complete the full mission. I'm not going to upload the complete mission with this video here because it's like a 38-minute mission. It's quite an intense mission. It's pretty much like Destiny's Strikes, and there are several stages to it, and it's actually quite challenging. Really enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. But what I will say is, if you would like to see the gameplay footage, it is without commentary because I just recorded the gameplay itself this afternoon. But if you would like to see it, let me know, and obviously in the comment section below, and I'll upload it as a separate video for you guys to watch and obviously enjoy. So without further ado, I wanted to talk about obviously my impressions of Anthem. You know, the concerns I had with Anthem, some of them have been met this weekend with playing the actual game, and they've raised a lot of other concerns, a lot of other worries in terms of the quality of the online service and the stability of the game and how it's going to actually perform when it goes live in 3 weeks' time. So I did get in and I did get to play. So in the demo you have three things that you can do in the game. So there are single player sort of story missions that you can do. They revolve around one of the arcanists, a guy called Matthias, and sort of investigating the relics, and I enjoyed them. You know, you go out into the world and you would carry out these missions. I did these with Dante, and then you would come back to Fort Tarsus and you would get to sort of interact with the main characters and sort of see, you know, kind of cutscenes and animations, and I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. I've got to say that the animations, the facial animations in Anthem are good. You know, they're quite solid, and they're a lot better than they were in Andromeda. So that's I'm very happy to see that. There's no sort of my face is tired issues or anything like that, and the voice acting was also very good as well. At the start of the game you can choose either to have a male or female voice at the start of the demo. There is no character customization in the demo, and I'm wondering if there isn't any in the actual main game and you have a set character, because obviously you can't see your character at all in any of the cutscenes in Fort Tarsus. But I enjoyed the main storyline. I thought it was quite nice. I thought it was quite varied as well. There was a lot of, you know, combat with it, a lot of puzzle solving. There was some humor. You know, the writing seemed good, but it was just a little taster of what we could expect. But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed some of the cinematics and some of the animations, and yeah, it felt, you know, like BioWare, and that made me very happy to see. We also then had free play where you could go out and explore the world, and I've got to say the world of Anthem is absolutely gorgeous. This game is so beautiful playing it. I can imagine that it looks incredible on the on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and on the Xbox One X, and probably on PC, you know, really on a really high spec PC. This game, I'm sure, will look absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I love the ability to just explore the world, and there's such a verticality to the world as well, and there's sort of underground caves and hidden sections and things, and there are obviously world events that you can interact with. Lots of sort of codex things that you can get information on and that kind of thing, and I really enjoyed the free play. What I didn't like about the free play though was that it always had to be you know, you always had to do public matchmaking, so you can't go out in free play with a private party. Say if there was just two of you, you can't go out into the world, just the two of you, or you can't go out with free play as a solo player. You actually have to go out with the option of opening it up for other random players to jump in into your party, into your squad. So I don't like that element, but I did enjoy free play. I thought it was really, you know, fun. But I really enjoyed the Stronghold, which was, you know, like their version of a strike in Destiny. I really enjoyed that mission. I loved the fact that, you know, there was a lot of objective-based things to do. I loved the teamwork, you know, in playing it. And then I thought the boss at the end, which is a huge spider, was really tough. You know, really tough. And you know, it was hard to take down, and it felt like a challenge, and I really enjoyed it. You know, I really enjoyed it. So the content, you know, that was in there was good. You do start off in the demo at level 10, and you do start off as a ranger, and then once you get to level 12, it actually unlocks a second javelin, and you can actually choose which javelin you would like to play as. So you can play as like an interceptor, or the storm, or the Colossus, and you can level up all the way up to level 15, which is the max in the demo. And yeah, I really enjoyed the Ranger. You know, this felt like a Iron Man game that we've always kind of wanted. The Ranger felt very good. I enjoyed it, but I don't like the fact that BioWare kind of forced the Ranger onto you, because obviously, you know, if you wanted to try all the different javelins, because what I was hoping to be able to do was that I would play as two javelins, and then Dante would play as two different javelins, and then what we would do is we would just swap and log into, you know, I would use his account and he would use my account, so we'd get to sort of play with each of them and get a feel for each of them. But no, BioWare does force you to play as the Ranger for, you know, quite a large chunk of the demo until you reach that level 12 mark, and then you can choose. So I've played as the Ranger, and I've played a little bit as the Interceptor, but I only unlocked the Interceptor really late this afternoon at the back end of the VIP demo, so I didn't get to play much as the Interceptor, which was kind of irritating. And you know, hopefully next weekend, any level or any loot or progression that you've got in the VIP demo will actually carry over. So the Interceptor that I've unlocked and customized, I'll be able to jump back in and actually play that next weekend. I don't know if BioWare are going to be including any new content or any extra content, or if we're just sort of going to re-go over what we've done and just keep trying the Stronghold on different difficulties, or you know, going into free play and exploring the world. I guess we'll have to sort of wait and see. So yeah, I did enjoy it. I thought the Stronghold was a really strong element. Fort Tarsus looked cool. It was a little jarring at first to be in first person. I think the walking and running speed is too slow to move from point to point, so I hope they do speed that up a little bit. There were a couple of characters that you could interact with. You couldn't interact with your crew. That made me really sad. So I couldn't speak to Owen, I couldn't speak to Faye, but there were some sort of other NPCs. I think there was a guy called Lucky Jack, and then there was another one, that guy that was a bartender. And you could sort of interact with them, and I think they were sort of giving a hint here as to the whole choice kind of thing, and you having an influence on Fort Tarsus. So by what I mean by this is, I was having a conversation with this character, and he basically asked for my opinion on something, and asked me what he should do. So I gave him some advice, and he went with that advice. And then when I went back to see him later, he actually sort of told me the outcome of that, and that affected how he looked at me or his relationship with me based on sort of what happened and how successful that advice was. So I guess that's what they mean by sort of small choices and small consequences in the world, to sort of give that flavor to Fort Tarsis, to make it your own. But obviously you're not going to be able to have massive choices on the story and, you know, the world setting. But yeah, I definitely was getting a vibe of what they were going for. So that was the content. Really enjoyed it. Now, what would I say about the game? I actually thought it was really solid, the gameplay. When I actually got in and was able to play as my Javelin, I really, really enjoyed it. The best part of this game is definitely the flight. The flight is so fluid and intuitive and really fun, and it takes a little getting used to at first, and it feels a little hectic to begin with. But once you get used to it and you get used to your Javelin, it actually feels really intuitive. You know, you can fly pressing down the left thumbstick, and then if you press the right thumbstick, you'll stop and hover in the air. If you press X, you will do a little dash or jump up, or you'll drop. And if you press circle, you'll evade. So if you're hovering, you'll dash left and right. If you're flying, you'll do like a barrel roll, which is really, really cool and just feels awesome. It just feels ace. And yeah, really loved the flight. The flight is the best part of this game, and it feels so good. It feels so good to fly in your Javelin. And of course, you know, that affects level design and the verticality, not only in combat but also in navigating the world and in sort of traversing, and you know, how it opens up the world for exploration. So I really loved the flight and the verticality. I thought the combat and the weapons were really strong as well. The weapons were great. You did get to experience different levels of weapons, and I think you can go up to rare quality in the demo. But I really enjoyed the weapons. They all felt very distinct, very different. They felt very BioWare. You know, the combat, the gunplay, the abilities, using combos with your teammates, using primers, and then other abilities to detonate things. So like, you know, using like a cryo grenade and a frag grenade together to do a combination detonation. That really feels like BioWare. You know, it really does give me vibes of Mass Effect and comboing those powers and everything. So I love that. You know, I love that cooperative nature of it, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. So yes, there was a lot of positives with the game, and I did enjoy it. And you know, had the game been smooth, I would have said, yeah, this looks interesting. You know, it looks like a solid game. The world is beautiful. It looks really interesting. And yeah, I really enjoyed my experience playing it. But there's a lot of problems. There were a lot of problems with the demo, which I'm sure, you know, you're aware of some of them. Obviously, we had the network issues at the start where you couldn't even get into the game. And this lasted for quite a while. This was, you know, a whole day, I think it took me before I could actually get into it. And that was really frustrating, not being able to get into the demo and check it out and play it. And what really frustrated me as well was just the inability to play it offline. You know, the fact that, you know, BioWare says, yeah, you can play this game solo, but you can't even access the game offline. So if the servers go down, or you have internet issues, or whatever it might be, you can't jump in and continue your game, and it's a real problem, you know. And they do have to make sure that those servers are stable, and they just weren't this weekend. The servers were absolutely shocking. The matchmaking was shocking. There were so many glitches as a result. So, you know, if you were in a squad, you couldn't actually see who is in your squad, and then if people dropped because they lost connection, it would still show that those squad mates were in your party, so they couldn't rejoin because technically they're already there. And there were just so many issues. There were some issues with the game as well. You know, there were enemies that would just suddenly disappear and despawn out of nowhere. There were some glitched mission objectives. Dante came across a objective where he had to get like an object and sort of carry it, transport it across to like this relic, this technology, and then, deliver that. But that was glitched and they couldn't actually do it. And so, there were problems with that. There were some issues with lag. That was definitely a problem now and again. And also frame rate, which would drop as well, especially when there were a lot of explosions going on screen. So that was definitely an issue sometimes as well. But the biggest problem with this demo and with the game, as I played it, were the infinite loading screens. These were an absolute nightmare. So this basically meant that, when you were in Fort Tarsus and you went into the matchmaking screen, to go into a game with your friends, you would inevitably come across a loading screen. And as it got to 95%, it would then just freeze. It would just stop loading and you would be stuck in this infinite loading screen. And that was really frustrating because sometimes I'd be setting up a party for 4 of us and maybe 3 people, got in absolutely fine, but then I couldn't get in to join them and then I couldn't rejoin the party. And I had issues with that, and it was very frustrating, and it just really slowed down the ability to play, and it was just really inconvenient and really irritating. So that was annoying, trying to get in. I found that was always a problem with free play, always with free play for me. I don't know why, but always with free play, I had so many issues. But the biggest annoyance with the infinite loading screens came at the end of a mission. So as you would end a mission and you go into like an objective complete screen, which is where you see your XP gain and also where you see all the loot that you got in that mission, and it would unlock all these weapons and unlock all this loot. On so many occasions at the end of a mission, I would get that infinite loading screen, and then what that would mean is I'd have to get stuck in it. The game wouldn't do anything. I'd have to shut down my program and reboot it. I even got the blue screen of death on several occasions, and that meant when I jumped back into the game, all that XP that I gained, all the loot that I gained was locked. I couldn't unlock the loot. It was just engrams. There was nowhere in Fort Tarsus for me to go to unlock this loot, like there was in the Destiny in the Tower. You were able to go to a particular NPC and he would lock all the engrams for you. That ability did not exist in Fort Tarsus, so I had all this loot, all these engrams that I couldn't unlock, because every time I finished the mission and tried to do that in the mission end screen, it kept glitching out and it kept crashing on me. So it was just absolutely ridiculous. And then I got to level 11 on Saturday, and it was so close to being able to unlock my second javelin, and I just tried mission after mission after mission, and at the end of each mission I would just lose everything because of this infinite loading screen. So yeah, I have massive concerns for this game on the on day one, on the day one launch. I'm concerned. What I think BioWare should have done is, I really think they should have just closed the VIP demo down on Friday. They should have then taken it offline, looked at trying to resolve all these issues, especially the infinite loading screens, and then actually then reopen it back up on Saturday or Sunday, and maybe extended it by 1 day on the Monday for people to play. But they kept the demo going, so there are people that were fine and were able to get in and play the game, and then there were quite a lot of people like me and many other people I know that just had no end of problems and network issues and getting kicked out of games and infinite loading screens and all sorts of problems happening. So yeah, it was a big problem, and it was very inconsistent. So yeah, I'm concerned. I am concerned about that. Obviously we have the open demo next weekend. I am going to be playing it next weekend because I want to see if BioWare have been able to fix all these issues and see if the game plays a lot smoother. That definitely is something I have to know before I even consider, picking this game up. And I think it's something that you guys should definitely check out before you consider picking up this game as well. So yeah, those are definitely my concerns. And those are my first impressions on Anthem. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Obviously, if you got to play it a little bit this weekend, what did you think of it? Did you enjoy the experience? Did you have similar issues that I had, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know obviously if you're going to be jumping in and playing it next week. So yeah, in some respects really enjoyed it, in other respects really concerned, and I guess next weekend we'll sort of hopefully reassure that. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Hope you guys have a great week. I'll be back again with more videos later on in the week, so look forward to that. Anyway, take care guys and girls, and as always, happy gaming. Bye guys.